Octabox in loop lighting position with a strip softbox as a rim light. In this 2-light setup, what I have is I have a main light sculpting the light on the face for my subject, and then a second light popping her out from the background. So my main light is an Octabox in a loop lighting position, which gives some nice sculpting to the face. When I do this, however, she blends in with the background. So there's not really any separation. And there's several ways I can separate her from the background, but for this setup, I'm using a 1x4 foot strip softbox. This strip softbox is a perfect modifier for separating people out from the background. It's great if I want a hair light, a jaw light, a rim light, anything like that. And so if she has her hair out, it's simply going to light her hair. But if she has her hair back nice and smooth, I can get a little bit more light on the jaw. So let me show you what it looks like. This, I find, is a really beautiful and simple setup if you're going for dramatic portraits or headshots. All right, beautiful. So you'll notice in this setup, that rim light is really carving out and accentuating her beautiful jawline. Let me turn off the rim light so you can see what it looks like without, and I'll tell you a couple other considerations. All right. Okay. So if you look at this setup, it's nice and dramatic, but I know that she's blending in with the background, so my mind goes to, how can I separate her? I could maybe fill in the shadows, I could light the background, or add a rim light, which is what I've done in this situation. The 1x4 is going to work for headshots and also for full length, but if you tend to shoot a lot of full length with this light, I recommend you go for something even bigger, like a 1x6 foot softbox. Of course, that all depends on your space. If you have low ceilings, the 1x4 is going to be more than enough. And in fact, I would say there's been very, very few times where I've needed to bump up to that larger strip softbox. This is probably the one that's going to work in most people's spaces. So let me turn it on one more time. And where I've positioned this light, I'm using the modeling light to watch what it's doing on the jaw. So can you pull your hair out just a little bit? If she has her hair out a little bit more, I'm going to lose the light on the jaw. I'll get maybe just a tiny bit. A hair light. So if you tried this at home and you're like, wait, where's my jaw light? But you can't see it, might be because the person's hair. You can move the light around more to the side to catch a little bit more of the jaw. But if you move it up too far, it's going to be so wide that it actually becomes a fill light. So what I usually do is I usually start with my rim light at about that angle. If I want it to be narrower, I move it around behind. So I'm going to have you pull the hair back, and I'm just going to move it just a little bit more behind to narrow that highlight on the jaw even more. That's perfect. And I'm keeping in mind, if I get lens flare, I have many different solutions to prevent this, so definitely check out the video where I go through that. So the lighting setup again is I have a softbox in loop lighting position with a strip softbox as a rim light on the side of the jaw.